Welcome to I Need a Drink. Today, we're going to be making an old fashioned. It originated in Louisville, Kentucky, where a guy named Colonel Pepper, who was a known bourbon distiller, went to Penn Dentist Club and asked his bartender to make him a drink. He made him a whiskey cocktail. I'll show you how he made it. Took a glass, 1 to 2 sugar cubes, 2 to 4 dashes of Angus bitters, 2 ounces of water. At the time, they did have ice, but it wasn't used as common, mainly saved for mint juleps or more for the wealthy, but an average person would be getting it this way. And then I'll be using American Woman whiskey. This bourbon is delicious. And then 2 ounces of American Woman. And then give that a muddle. This is the drink in the early 19th century Colonel Pepper would be enjoying. Really well balanced. That bourbon is delicious. I'm more of a rye person. That bourbon really always hits. By the mid 19th century, every single bartender had their take on how to make a whiskey cocktail, adding in tons of modifications and anything they wanted to fancy it up. I'll show you a very popular one during that time. Add in a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, quarter ounce of maraschino. Be careful on this stuff, too much of it will completely overpower your drink. A dash of absinthe. Two to 4 dashes of Angus bitters. Add in some crushed ice. And then for the rye whiskey, I'm using Oregon Spirit. 2 ounces of Oregon Spirit. Give that a stir. Well, we got that mixing together. We're gonna take our drink, grab a nice ice cube, place it in there, start getting our stamp going. Finish up mixing this. Take our stamp off. As you can see, we have a nice stamp. Moving on. Now, we're gonna strain our drink on top. And garnish with an orange peel. Now, a lot of the times, after peeling it, I like to take an orange and use these type of scissors to really give it a nice crisp edge, a zigzag edge. Really adds in to the presentation. This is the drink you'd be enjoying during the mid 19th century. Probably should put my pinky up in the air as we're going all fancy like right now. Ooh, that is delicious though. This was now getting more into the hated drinks, as the reason why it became an old fashioned was they got tired of all these bartenders making all these modifications and fancying up any way they like.
Hello, what would you like to drink?
I would like a whiskey cocktail, please.
Oh, I know the best way to make it. Would you like bourbon or rye?
Neither, just the glass, please.
Okay.
Can you believe all these imbeciles thinking they know how to make a good whiskey cocktail?
So they would ask for it the old-fashioned way. Now let me show you the most common, popular one that you can make. Super simple, the one I usually like to use when I'm not trying to impress anybody. Take a glass, ice, 2 to 4 dashes of Angus bitters. Three-fourths ounce of simple syrup. Now you can use a sugar cube, but to be honest, you're just muddling it up. It gets still grainy, and you're just making simple syrup anyway, so why not just use it? Save the shortcut and not have to do the hassle. And then again, I'm gonna use, I do love this Oregon Spirit for rye whiskey. And then give that a nice stir, making sure it's nice and cold. And then we can top that off with a maraschino cherry. And an orange peel. Now there would be your late 19th century, calling it the old fashioned instead of the whiskey cocktail. Oh, that's a beautiful tasting drink. Really well balanced. Now, during the mid 20th century, you might see people muddling in the oranges and the cherries in together with it. Not really a fan of that. Now, coming from Wisconsin, it's a very popular German and Scandinavian heritage, so they love their brandy. Now, this is the brandy old fashioned. We're gonna start off with a cherry, an orange. Usually people add in their spirit at the end so that they don't have to get rid of it, but we'll be fine here. 2 to 3 ounces of brandy. I'm gonna go on the 2 ounce side. Quarter ounce of simple syrup. And then 2 to 4 dashes of Angus bitters. And then you're gonna wanna muddle that in there. Really breaking up the orange and the cherry. Alright. Now to add this over crushed ice, I'm gonna first cool this off in here. Now, we're gonna add that to more crushed ice. Then I have some very fine crushed up ice over here. I'd be wearing gloves if I was making this drink for somebody else, but I'm making it for myself. And then strain that over. And then why not garnish with a nice, you know what? Like I was showing you, we're gonna trim off these edges, make it nice and decorative. Put the oils around the rim. And also finish it off with a cherry on top. This is the drink you'd be enjoying during the mid 20th century. This one is made with brandy as it's coming from Wisconsin. Not my favorite. I feel the cherry and the orange really overpowerful to drink. Doesn't taste good. Not the route that I would go with my old fashioned, but to each its own. Now let's finish it off with present day, the way that I like to make it. The way I like to do it is I like to use demerara syrup. This is different than cane sugar. It's more closer to brown sugar, but still different. I'm gonna add 3/4 ounce of demerara syrup. And then 4 dashes of Angus bitters. Again, I'm gonna use my Oregon Spirit rye whiskey. 2 ounces of rye whiskey. Over crushed ice. While that is going, I also do have this nice decorative for the ice. So you can take that on here and add any one that you would like. Let's go with the water droplet. While that's going, I'm going to continue to store this up. Here we go. I like to take a little bit of lemon bitters, and I like to give the glass a nice little squirt. That really brings out the aromas of the lemon. It gives a nice kind of citrus smell when you bring your nose up to it. Now you can see we got that nice little lemon water droplet coming on there. Let's add the water droplets on the rest side of it. Flip it. There you can see the beautiful water droplets. Show it to the camera. Again, if I was making this for somebody else, I wouldn't be touching it with all my fingers, but I'd have gloves on, but hey, doing it for myself right now. Now, I'm gonna take the ice cube that's beautiful decorated all over. Put the lime drop on top. Take our strainer, strain that over. One more squirt of lemon bitters. And then, to really spice it up, we're gonna smoke it to really bring those smoky flavors back in. So we're just gonna place our drink in there, close it up top, bring the drink over here. So right now I have two kinds. I have apple and oak. I'm gonna bring the oak and bring some of those flavors back. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this oak wood chips. Put the top back on. Grab the hose. Take it in. Just attaches in right there. Then we can start heating it and turning. There we go. Now we're smoking our drink. I wonder if I could use this for... Anyways, we're getting a beautiful smoked drink here. Oh, there we go. Now we'll let that sit for a second, and here we go. Now we can take that out. Put this down for a second, and we'll just take the smoker off to the side. Get it nice and smoky in there. All right, now let's try present day cocktail. Oh, almost forgot. Let's just garnish it up real quick. We'll put a nice lemon on there, and why not? We'll do an orange too. Let's just get it going. I'm not much of a cherry person, so I'm just gonna top it off with that. You can really smell that lime bitters on there. It gives it a nice citrus smell with that smoky flavor in the back. Oh man, that's a delicious drink. You instantly taste the Demerara syrup. It just has that phenomenal flavor that goes with the woody smoke. They just complement each other so well. Well, this is how I would make my old fashioned. All right, guys, let's give each one of these old fashions a try now. Starting off with the whiskey cocktail back in the early 19th century. I mean, that's delicious. That bourbon from American Woman is amazing. I just wish this drink was cold, but all around a great drink. Coming into the mid 19th century. I mean, that is phenomenal. It's really a lot of elegant flavors, really fancied up like, but I like to be fancy, you know, who doesn't like to go out and be fancy? It's a really good drink. Let's try bringing it back to the roots, the old fashioned, starting off now with the old fashioned, bringing it to the late 19th century. I mean, that is also delicious. I mean, that's just perfectly balanced, has all the flavors you would ever want. I mean, that's hands down the go-to drink. Now to the mid 20th century. This one's from Wisconsin, as it's made with brandy. You know, I would just never muddle cherry and oranges. It just overcomplicates the flavor. It just overpowers it. Not my favorite, but it's there for anyone that does enjoy it. Now to present day. I mean, that is delicious. That Demerara syrup and that citrus note flavor on top, this makes it my favorite old fashioned by far. It takes a little bit more effort than the other one, but this one is by far my favorite. All right, guys, let's see you guys make your guys' old fashioned. All right, on to the next drink.